Welcome to Big Blend Radio with travel writer Linda Kissam, the food, wine, and shopping diva. Welcome, everyone. It is the first Saturday of the month, June. And guess what? June is National Outdoors Month, and Diva Linda here put together a great article. You can check it out on nationalparktraveling.com or just go to the link in the episode notes where she gave some great suggestions on getting ready for a picnic in the park. June is Outdoor Month, and then July is National Picnic Month. So Diva Linda's always ahead, right? That's why she's the diva. She's always got good taste. And we also have Robert Schueller back on the show from Melissa's Produce, and he's going to give suggestions on what to eat at these picnics and even barbecues, because sometimes when you go to a picnic spot, there's a little grill that you can go have fun in, even in our national parks. So it's a great way to get together, and you may be camping, you may not be. Who knows? You might be pitching a volleyball, rig up next to your picnic site. Get active so you can eat some good trail mix from Melissa's. Just giving some nudges and ideas. But Diva Linda, do you like to picnic on your boat?
Well, that's a very interesting question because yes, and a lot of people picnic. It's very interesting. Picnic on the front of their boat. There's usually on the bow of the boat, there's generally room to spread a picnic table, picnic area, blanket, and you put your stuff there. And then as people walk by, you say hello, they say hello. It's a very good conversation starter, and it's something you can do on your boat, but it also, when you go to various destinations and there's like nothing, it's just wilderness and so forth. You can just get off the boat, take your picnic to wherever, whether it's a beachfront or it's a forest or whatever. And you have lots and lots of different opportunities to have wonderful picnics. It's a great way to enjoy summer, I think, especially on boats.
It's a great way for people to relax and actually put their phone down and have conversations and, be like the Europeans. Have a glass of wine, have a nice big spread with some fresh fruit and some sandwiches and, potato salad with those wonderful potatoes from Melissa's, right?
Well, one of the things I want to mention is that Robert, Melissa's, sent you and I a pack of things to sample for summer picnics. And it occurred to me on this shipment how much of it was organic. So if you are a person, and I think a lot of us are going this way, who want organic things to take to your picnic, look for Melissa's. It doesn't, and I'm not talking necessarily about their fruits and all of that, but they have a whole line of snacks that are appropriate and produce, of course, but all sorts of wonderful organic snacks, chocolate almond. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about the new stuff that you have out, Robert, because it is wonderful. It tastes great. Just want everybody to know.
Well, thank you, Linda. Yes, Melissa's, as the largest variety supplier of organic produce here in the United States. It's been an ongoing trend for quite some time. A lot of Americans are seeking out organic produce. And of course, along with that, as a produce provider for produce departments across the country, we do business in all 50 states and also distributing to Canada. We're a very accessible company, melissas.com. And this organic snack, SNAX line, is a line of great picnic and summer snacks to enjoy. In the line are different varieties of dry fruit. There is a line of trail mix. There's a line of different nuts, whether candied or chocolate covered, including raisins as well. In this new line, there's 13 new SKUs you'll find in your local produce department as a healthy snack alternative to not only enjoy during the summertime now. Organic snacks you can find now in your local produce department on a year-round basis. So look for those.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think when doing picnics, we often tend to bring foods that are in containers, or like tuna fish or potato salad or whatever, and you have to be very cognizant and very careful of how you treat those as you're walking around with them and how long they stay out and all that kind of stuff. Snacks come in little boxes, and you don't have to worry about them being refrigerated or anything else. And I think it works the whole picnic long. You put them out when you start, and they're there at the end, and you can just sort of graze. There's with that many SKUs or components, you got to find something you love, and you got to find a lot. There's some spicy things, chocolate things, trail mix things, cashews, all sorts of wonderful things that you can just put in your picnic bag. You don't have to worry about them. And you're bound to hit a taste that all people are going to love. And I think it's just a real important new component, organics for picnics. And I think we ought to really just sort of try to think about that as the summer comes and you're at the store, take a look, ask for it if you don't see it. And I'm seeing it more and more in my stores, and it's quite wonderful. It really is. They're really good. It's very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. I sort of compare it to Trader Joe's, who's very thoughtful about their own brand, and your brands are very thoughtful. They taste good. Your fruits are wonderful. I had the mangoes. Oh my God, the mangoes! And who knew mangoes were so good? They are.
I do. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite. It's like
a cocktail that can be made with that.
Oh yes, with chili. Oh my gosh, and then yeah, martinis with mango martinis with like a habanero pepper kind of thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Yum. Sweet and spice. You know, when you were talking about these being in little containers, this is really an important thing because when you go out in the heat, you want something too, because people's, we sweat, but that means salts and sugars are going out of our body. And depending on your age, for kids and also for those, that are inside, they need munchies. And so it's something there that's immediate and you can use it on the way to or fro.
Yeah, and also I'd like to add, ladies, is that the new organic snack line makes a complement to a charcuterie board of different fruits and vegetables that you like to serve at your picnic or barbecue this summertime. So it complements not only the fact that the products are shelf stable and they offer a healthy snack idea that you can open and close in a plastic recyclable container, but there's a lot of different varieties. Yes. And some of them, because of spiciness, has become popular. We have the non-spicy and spicy, whether it's on the nuts, the trail mixes, and other items that we do on there. If you go to melissas.com, just type in organic snacks and you'll see the whole line and including different recipes that you can create all summer long.
Well, I got a little something to tell you about what Nancy's done with some of the clean snacks because she loves them. It's like, so some of them, I think there was the one with the cranberry and, and then, because it is like it comes in those little pieces. Well, you know how we travel full time. So sometimes we're a little bit unorthodox in how we eat and do things because that's just Diva Linda knows as she travels a lot and goes on a boat. So Nancy, we don't really drink milk. So we do rice milk and stuff like that. So for her, she's like, this is if I'm running late on breakfast, because apparently I need to do the cooking now. This is just what's happened. Well, because I'm kind of getting really into it now. Thank you. Your fault, Robert. But in a good way, if I'm running late, she takes those and she makes granola out of it for the clean snacks for breakfast. So I just want people to know if you have kids and they're waiting for something, or if you're camping, I'm just saying you can take the clean snacks and make cereal. I don't know if that's what you meant to do with it, but you can.
Oh, no. I was just thinking about granola yesterday. Washington State has the best granola at Pike Place Market. But I'm thinking and you could mix the cranberry with the coconut.
Yeah. Ooh. And there's all these recipes now. Like you can take like granola, like trail mix and stuff, and you make some kind of, I don't know how they're doing it, but I think it's with honey. And then you mix it all together and you spread it fine on a baking sheet. And then you have like granola bites from the trail mix. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of different ways to play with the snacks. It's like the onions, slicing the onions and then grilling them. Yes, with Parmesan cheese and yeah.
Are we including a recipe this time?
Ooh, you've got so many recipes on the site, Robert. Yeah. I mean, what would be some of the recipes you'd recommend for a picnic? You've got a lot for like the salads too.
Yes, definitely. Now, it's the summertime and there's a lot of great, if you go melissas.com, you can go into the recipe section and you can look at some of the great barbecue and picnic items and recipes that you can cook. You can look by actual holiday. So Father's Day in June, you have coming up 4th of July for your 4th of July picnic and barbecue there. Some great potato salads, which are a standard at most picnics during the summertime. But if you're grilling the potatoes, that's another great thing. I know Linda and Lisa, you guys both love Melissa's Dutch yellow potatoes, not only in yellow, which is the most popular one, but we also have the red Dutch and the blue Dutch, which is a purple potato as well. Or you'll find a mixture of them. Kind of like we call it a gemstone, but it's a mixture of red, white, and blue potatoes, for that all-American theme for 4th of July, which is always popular every year. Mix them up with some great different varieties of onions, whether you like the sweet ones, the red ones, or the standard gold ones. Also we're getting at the tail end of the season here in the summertime for sweet onions. I know that me and Lisa has had a conversation about as well on the show there. And so these are just great barbecue items. And many of the recipes, you can either search on melissa.com by the ingredient, potatoes, onions, snack items, stuff like that. Or you can go into each particular holiday and you'll see we have a 12-month calendar on there of all the different holidays that come up, whether it's Father's Day, 4th of July,
Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
Okay. So in our recent delivery, I'm like, why is this box so heavy? I'm like, there's some goodies in here. And there's the salsas. Like, so again, like easy salsa that everyone can eat, not too spicy. It's like the perfect blend. Bring your tortilla chips. There you go. But what was so heavy in there? It was the giant jicama. Is this just because I was telling you that's how I first learned about Melissa's was the jicama? Because everybody's jicama sucked until I found out. I saw this little label and the only jicama that was good was Melissa's. And I didn't know about Melissa's until that's how I knew Melissa's was always go get the Melissa's jicama and you will not be disappointed. This is gigante. This is the giant jicama of all jicamas, and I'm excited about it because I know you can slice them and you can put spice on them. They can be a healthy alternative to chips, tortillas. You can use them in the salsa as a nice, crunchy, delicious, like almost sweetish, earthy, nutty, delicious beings. I grate them and I put it in I make coleslaw. So I'm weird, okay, but I take coleslaw. So I like to do red cabbage, carrots, and put some green cabbage, some onion. I always go more on the red for that, but you can do whatever you want. I also put cubes of cheese. Now I want it to be like really kind of puckery, sharp cheddar. This is more of a South African thing we used to do. So we used to do a lot of curries, but you could put chili in there too. A little bit of salsa is not a bad thing. Some raisins actually works really good in coleslaw. You can do it sweet. You can do your mayonnaise thing, but I do like a vinaigrette with it. And you put the jicama in there and I always do jicama in my coleslaw. It's my thing. And so now I'm going to look at doing a jicama salad, like maybe with carrots, like a layered carrot salad, I've got a thing going on.
These are all great ideas, Lisa, for summer salads, because you're doing picnics and barbecues outside. Potato salads are standard, but green salads and coleslaw, very popular all summer long. Traditionally, Melissa's is very much known for jicama as one of the largest suppliers in the United States. Even though it's a staple ingredient in the Hispanic and Mexican demographic, jicama is now showing its way up on vegetable platters next to carrots and celery. Traditionally, in the Hispanic cuisine, they like to cut them into like French fries shape, right? Long strips, and then squeeze a little bit of lime juice and some pico de gallo powder, like a chili lime powder on top there to give a little spice in it. Makes a great snack all summer long as well.
And it's vegan. That's what we used to eat during band practice. Our drummer was Hispanic and his wife, I was going vegan at the time. And she's like, I know what to make for you. And I think that is actually how I first had jicama. And she did exactly what you're talking about. And I took them and I ran away, and nobody in the band was allowed to have them. They were my sticks. And I'm like, I'm vegan and I've got good food. Yours sucks.
Where is it grown? Where is it grown, Robert?
Jicama is grown 365 days out of the year. We import it in from Mexico, so not too far over the border there. And the demand is year-round, whether we service local retail stores or also food service. It's actually one of our top 10 items. It is a root vegetable. Most often than not, it is enjoyed actually raw versus cooked. A lot of people refer to them as like Mexican potatoes, but it is enjoyed raw more like a carrot than any other way.
That's why I think it's also cool, and it's so juicy as well. So like you can do exactly what we were talking about with cucumbers and jicama, doing the same way with the lemon and the spice. But if you look at that, like a jicama is a cooling, when it's hot in summer, you can do a nice salad and it cools you down like carrots will. You just, chill it before you go. You can make it the day before as well. Put a little lemon. Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to go to the kitchen now and try this.
Yeah,
go make a mess.
The neat thing about it is it's very portable as well. Although jicama is a root, it does not need to be refrigerated. You can bring it on the boat. You can bring it camping. You just need to skin the exterior skin, and it is crispy and juicy inside. Actually, the jicama, if you didn't know, is also in Asia. It is used as a substitute for water chestnut. But the cool thing about it is if you're bringing it camping or to a barbecue or something like that, you only need to refrigerate it after you cut it. So you can bring it to wherever you are when you cut it and enjoy it. Then you have to refrigerate it if you don't eat it. But yes, it stays so juicy and crisp as an apple, but as mild as a carrot. And it's so versatile and enjoyed raw.
Tell me a little bit about, which is now my new favorite. You've gone from you have a choice of, on your dessert sauces, the tall, skinny 16 ounce, I think, to this little cute new toppings. Now, any picnic I had growing up in my youth, we always had ice cream. My father always made homemade ice cream. I don't care where we were, always made it. But if we were away from home, it was hard to bring the dessert sauce. My gosh, those little ones are perfect. How did you think about that? What was the reasoning behind that?
Okay, so the whole idea for Melissa's dessert sauces is ways in which we can get Americans to eat more produce. And, in many countries, produce is dessert, especially used in Asia and India. Fruit is dessert. But here in America, when we think of dessert, we think of like cakes, cheesecakes, pies, ice creams, and stuff like that. But I think we get a lot of healthy ideas from other countries serving produce. And so whether you use the dessert sauces, we have a chocolate dessert sauce, we have a caramel and a raspberry. That's the traditional one we've had for a long time. And you can use it on your fresh cut fruit. You can also use it on ice cream. However, Linda, and I know Lisa, because I sent her samples as well, and we talked about this, we do a line of new dessert sauces in which we partnered with Fabri chocolatiers out of France. If you're in France, everybody knows about Fabri desserts and chocolatiers. It is a high-end gourmet dessert sauce company, and we partnered with them here in the United States and actually offer these dessert sauces in a smaller container. But these dessert sauces are phenomenal. Yes, they come in a smaller container, but the flavors, pistachio, wild cherry, strawberry. We also have, obviously, chocolate as well. But my favorite, and probably your favorite, this is kind of along our lines of luxury produce there. And for those who want to get their hands on them, you can go to melissas.com and order them straight now, because we're starting to get them into local produce departments. And you'll usually find them like right next to the berries or to like the crepes, or companies do like strawberry shortcakes. And that's why you'll find this dessert line in that area of the produce department. So if you want to do something really special, whether you put it on fruit or whether you put it on your favorite ice cream or cake, these Melissa's and Fabri dessert sauces cannot be beat and gives you a taste of the famous chocolatier Fabri out of France.
And you could do the
Holy
crepes.
cow.
Do the crepes with it, because on a picnic or a barbecue, for a dessert, you can carry the crepes. They don't have to be refrigerated. You don't have to do anything. If you've got some strawberries or berries that you've gotten, just put them in a, cantaloupe, watermelon. We always have watermelon, right? So you could just, put your fruit and your sauce with the crepes. Simple. And it will look amazing.
I just love them. And they're small so that you can put them in one of the ickiest things that I think about picnics that you have to go walk a long way to get, like on a beach or something, is you have to carry this heavy amount of produce or food or whatever. These are little containers. They don't weigh much. They're very nice. And they'll probably be all gone by the time that you're done with your picnic. They're really,
if I'm there.
really special. Yeah, they're really special. What are the top 5 new produce items coming in for the summer?
Well, this summer, we touched a little bit about mangoes as we continue to be in the peak of the season for mangoes, tree ripened mangoes, Saporano mangoes, honey mangoes, which are the little yellow ones. There's so many exciting varieties of mangoes available to us. I continue to see the trend that mangoes continue to really become more and more popular here in the United States, even though here in the United States, it's number 13 of all fruits. But, we are in the domestic season, the U.S. season, for many of the summer fruits that you'll be seeing in your produce department if you haven't seen already. This includes variety grapes, from your Moscato grapes to some of your other varieties like cotton candy, gumball, and eventually in July, some exciting varieties that are like Concord grapes or champagne grapes. Of course, we're also in the midst in the summertime of variety melons. Beyond your cantaloupe and honeydew, you're going to see exciting varieties like hominy melons and different varieties of watermelons in a big way. Yellow watermelons, orange watermelons.
What?
So yes, you're going to see them more and more available. Traditionally, there's 2 different types of watermelon, red watermelon and yellow watermelon. So guess what happens when you cross the yellow with the red watermelon? You get orange.
Cool. This is okay. This is like when you did your pink. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say the pink pineapple. It's like that. But yeah,
we like that. We like that a lot.
But yeah, what's the
pink low pineapple, people? You have to search them out. Melissa's is the best. It's a special item. It's not inexpensive, but is it good? Oh my Lord. They are wonderful. Where did they come from? Hawaii?
Oh. The Pinko pineapple grower is Del Monte. Del Monte is the largest grower in the world for pineapples. They're based out of Costa Rica. And back in 2019, most of your pineapples in the United States, 97% of them fresh, come from Costa Rica. To supply the national demand. I know you think that Hawaii is the major source of pineapples in the United States. They can't keep up with the demand. But when you buy canned pineapple, Hawaii pineapple is very popular and has a better shelf life there. But Costa Rica, for the last 15 years solid, has been supplying 98%, 99% of the pineapples that you find in the United States. Now, the pink one has the pink flesh. What's the difference beyond just the color? It's about the gold pineapples have acidity. The pinklo pineapples have no acidity. So it's all sweetness and fruits. For those who don't like gold pineapple because the acid, like citrus acid, people who don't like pineapple don't like citrus because it irritates or burns their gums. You don't have to worry about that with the pink pineapple. And that makes a spectacular head or stopper when you bring that to your summer picnic, barbecue, or party. You will now find pink pineapples in most produce departments across the country. They're a little bit more pricier. So most often than not, the pink pineapples are going to be around the holiday seasons. Father's Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. So look for them, especially around the holiday They are available on a year-round basis, but not always your store carries them year-round. But Melissa's does at melissas.com.
Okay, so we made a fresh upside down pineapple cake. So a lot of times when it's a pineapple upside down cake, you are using canned pineapple. And so when we were in Tucson, our friend Eva Eldridge, you know Eva Linda, she knows how to cook, and we had Melissa's delivered there, and it was like we played. We had a Melissa's party for a few days, but that pineapple, all of us were sneaking into the kitchen because I chopped it all up for the cake, and she got the recipe. It's on melissas.com. This recipe is not hard. We were all like, all right, because we're like, this is like the queen of the pineapples. You don't want to mess, you do not want to ruin the cake because of the pineapple. And it was divine. I highly recommend, you could take that to a picnic, and, because of the pink too, it's fun for the 4th of July. I would think that is a showstopper, and that cake, there will be nothing left of that cake. There will be nothing left of that pineapple. You know what? It is worth every penny and more. Is wow. It is cool. I'm serious. Cake this up.
Lisa, you're going to now have to share your pink pineapple upside down cake with all your listeners now.
Yes, we'll put that photo up, and I'll link to it because you'll see the photo. Now Eva did the baking. I'm the chopper. When Eva's doing kitchen stuff, I do the stuff that doesn't mess anything up, or hopefully not. But she really knows that. But that recipe is not hard. It's right on melissas.com. But that cake, and we paired it with some of the wine from LDV Winery. Oh my gosh, we've got the perfect pairing for it, because pineapple is really interesting about how to pair wine with it. But she had, I think we did it with her rosé or Grenache. It's on the top of my head. I can't remember which one. But for our friends that don't even really drink wine, they were like, okay, wait, did we just like, is it Christmas? Like, this is really good. So you can pair wine with pineapple upside down cake. And it's, rosé is a good wine for a summer picnic, isn't it, Linda? When you think about pairings and,
wow, that and champagne. Absolutely.
Well, Diva.
Lots of stuff goes well with it. And I'm still thinking about the papaya cocktail. So I just think that's got to be great. Absolutely got to be great. So many exciting things, Robert. Gosh. I'm telling everyone, read my article on picnics. I have 10 tips for you as well. And think about it. And remember, whatever you take in to your picnic spot goes out with you. Leave no trace of yourself behind, please. And that includes, if there is a picnic table, that you don't leave food spots on it, please. Take something and clean it off so the next person can enjoy it without having to spend, 15 minutes getting your garbage off of this. So anyway, 10 tips.
Can I partner on that, what you were saying about clean, take what you take out? Because the wildlife doesn't need human food. You may think, it's like giving bread to ducks actually hurts ducks. Okay. It swells in their belly and it makes them sick. And so actually you don't just start leaving things for animals and birds thinking, this is okay. It's not always okay. So don't feed the wildlife, because eventually they get close, somebody gets hurt, and then what happens to the wildlife with that situation. And it's like if you go to the Sequoias, like my background, and, Robert knows that region, they have bear boxes. So, use things like that. So your food is safe away from the animals. So it's just, the cleanup part is, especially now, there's a lot of layoffs in our parks across the country and on all levels. And so we also need to do our part of helping our parks. Right. So I love that, what you were talking about, Linda. Before we go on this too, you had so many great tips on this. And one of them that I thought was super fun was theming the picnic. So it's not just any old picnic. Let's have a theme to it. And I think you could use Melissa's produce and, the snacks actually according to them. Right. So tell us a little bit about some of your themes.
I think the easiest one is Mexican. And the one that would be my favorite would be Mexican. And then I love Hawaiian. Hawaiian is wonderful. One of the things that when you're planning picnics is, and you want other people to participate, bring things, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Make it easy for them. Don't make it difficult. And you could do Scandinavian, you could do woodsy, you could do whatever. Think about your group and think about what they can contribute And don't give some weird one where nobody can figure out what you're talking about.
Oh.
And yeah, and some people love to wear. Let's say you do Hawaiian because that's a really popular one. Maybe you provide leis for your guests as a surprise. You could also do a tea. You could also do a wonderful tea, a Mother's Day tea, any kind of tea stuff. And Melissa's has everything you need for that as well, and does your guests. Cookies, snacks, the pineapple cake is just rolling around in my head. So anyway, think about things. Think about what you might want, what your guests might want. What is there children involved? Think about that compared to an adult picnic. It's all very different. There's just so many things that you can do.
I love the theme idea. So I want to ask each of you if you could go on a picnic with anyone in the world, right? Obviously, take your family, right, and friends. But if there's anyone in the world you would want to go on a picnic with, alive or passed on, even a fictional character, like I wouldn't mind going on a picnic with Superman, So come on, why not? If you could go on a picnic with anyone, where would you go? Who is it going to be? Okay. And of course, we want to know some basics you are bringing to the table because you're the host. So let's start with you, Diva Linda. Diva's first. Where's your picnic and with who?
Oh, I think I would like to speak with the new Pope in the Sistine Chapel. I don't know if
you could have a picnic in the chapel.
Chapel, yeah, they can configure that. It's very easy for them. They do all sorts of meetings and so forth there, and it's beautiful. Of course, it's absolutely wonderful. And I probably would, of course, probably do half Italian and half Californian stuff, mangoes and oranges and fruits and jicama and all that kind of stuff. And I think that would just be charcuterie boards made from cheeses and all sorts of stuff. But half traditional Italian and half, well, who knows who the Pope is? Maybe it'll be Polish. That would be fun. Don't know. Filipino. Have to wait on that one.
Then you could take sausage.
Yeah. And I love Filipino food. So, but I would also like them to have lots of fruits and snacks and all that kind of stuff. So that would be what I would hope for.
What about you, Robert?
Probably the location would probably be at a national park here in the United States. Let's say Yosemite or Yellowstone. Obviously, going to a picnic or barbecue, any celebrity chef you see on the Food Network or PBS. So someone who really knows how to cook, and some great grazing boards of fruits and veggies and meats and cheeses. That would be perfect.
I think I want to go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach for a little bit. Like to go to the beach anywhere. Actually, you know what? The Gulf Shores sounds really good. That beautiful turquoise water, and like to go to the Florida beach because you can get away with stuff in Florida. It's going to get away with. But I'd like to go to the beach. And I think that I'm going to do like a Mexican theme too. I think I'm going to have like a taco thing going, because you can actually you can heat them up on a grill. And I'm going to bring the produce. I'm going to bring basically when you get deliveries from the big boxes, everything's getting out of the car except for maybe, picnic blankets and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of beer and wine and I don't know, maybe some tequila. I think tequila is going to be involved, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to bring, and my guest is going to do the cooking and preparing. And it will be Chef Anthony Bourdain. And after that, we'll all have to get an Uber because I know it's going to be shenanigans. And I would love to just hang out with Anthony Bourdain on the beach. Actually, we have to go to Florida. In fact, we'll go to Iggy Pop's place where he did his interview with Iggy Pop. And Iggy Pop has a chair collection. He collects chairs and he sits in a different chair every day. So I think we need to be at Iggy Pop's place at the beach in Miami. Yeah, this is perfect. That would be an ideal picnic. And yeah, an Uber will have to take me home wherever that would be. So there you go. Hey, Melissa's Produce has got it all going on. So everyone, melissas.com. Again, the link for Diva Linda's article. She has really good tips to get you started for a picnic, especially if it's your first time hosting. This is a great tips out there. You can use the same tips for a barbecue as well. So everyone check that out. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Lost to Angel Travel Adventure Show with Linda Ballou, travel writer and author. Keep up with her at lindabalooauthor.com and lostangeladventures.com. You can also keep up with Big Blend Radio at bigblendradio.com. Now, happy traveling!